goes in streaks. And it's been a long streak right now. It's been about a month or 6 weeks. It's not normally that long. It's normally a couple weeks and a break, then a couple weeks and a break.
Yep, there we go. Oh, great. Hang on, everybody. Going live. Okay.
Are you
All
guys
right.
still fasting? Fasting?
Actually, no. We had a little rough of a weekend, so we'll check in and tell you all that in just a minute. Hello, I'm Tammy.
I'm Lance.
And we're the Journey and Healing team. We're here to guide you through. See how many people we get on here. We'll go slow here while we catch see if everybody's going to jump in. I know it's holiday weekend, so we want to say thank you to everybody and hope everybody has a great, safe weekend.
Yep.
But in the meantime, Lance and I were fasting. We definitely were.
We were.
We were fasting. Keynote here. This is where you learn to kind of listen to your body and go with it. And although we've had, the inspiration of Maddox and Bill and our family both needing us to kick in and do this, we had a great weekend out of went to see Keith Urban last Friday, which we should have started our fast then on Sunday. And I will tell you the heat of that concert and standing in line for 6 hours and on our feet in that heat and everything like that, it annihilated both of us. If it would have been another half hour longer, I wouldn't have made it. There's no doubt about it.
It was hot.
He was drained.
Bad.
It was everything. So
Not
Kevin,
Tammy.
not Tammy. So when we got to the concert and everything, of course we took our water and our drinks and our electrolytes and all this stuff to try to stay going, but it just, God love him because he played forever and it went on forever. And it was rough. I'm not gonna lie. So where we started our fast on Sunday just like normal. We were trying to push through it. We got our electrolytes in us. We got everything going. But I will tell you, just by Monday,
Monday we were drained. I was physically drained, and it was just it was a no-go. I mean, it was one of those points where I was at zero energy. I mean, I couldn't go on. So it was like we need to cut this off. We were dehydrated anyway, and I don't think that was really a good true fast or time to fast. So
yeah. So it was rough. So we ended up breaking. We did break with sardines, and we tried to stay true with that. So we did the best we could do, but just know sometimes we very seldom have ever hit that. But we were both just completely annihilated and drained. So, um, but the good part of that is, there we go. There we go, Lisa. It's approved. The good part of that is we were front and center of Keith Urban, and I got to touch you. So
Yeah,
it was
a, a couple of my friends went to Keith Urban and never asked me if I was interested in seeing one of the
we were
world's
invited.
greatest guitar players.
I know.
absolutely,
I
dude. It's
know.
amazing, but
I
sorry,
really, I didn't get to see it, so
he's
I don't
offended.
know.
Right. Just know the
Hey,
girls
now,
invite.
Tammy, all I'm saying is that was date night, and you
Oh,
Yeah, it was.
will.
it was phenomenal. So just I will post the video over in the thing because I actually want to get it to the lady beside me. But he literally we were front and center on the in the pit, and he literally came over and squatted down right in front of me, and he's right there, like
She reached out and touched him. I mean, patted him right on the leg.
had his sweat on my hands. And the poor guy, we were drained and exhausted sitting down there. I can't imagine what those guys felt like on stage. So it was a really good
It
concert,
was
but
great.
it was just I've never been to a concert where it was like I don't know if I can stand up for 30 more minutes.
Hey, Kevin, he went, we were at Blossom, and he went halfway through the concert, he stopped. He played all the way up as he walked through the entire audience up
Oh my
to the
God.
lawn seats, and he had another stage up there, so he gave the lawn seats a front row deal, played the guitar up there, autographed the guitar, and gave it to
And
somebody up
handed
there.
it away out in the audience. It was
Yep.
pretty
For
sweet.
those of you who don't know, that's a journey from the stage to where they described, and it's not easy just strolling up there.
Right.
It's uphill. It's wicked. And that
It was
venue's
packed.
hot.
It was,
Down inside, it's hot, man.
oh, the pit was nasty, man.
It was thank God I had a nurse beside me, like literally, and I had
Her
my
heart her heart rate was 128 beats a minute, and it wouldn't come
I
down. That's
could
how
not.
hot
And
it was like a sauna in the pit.
all day long, and I took two metoprolol while I was standing there to try to get my heart rate down. It was just, it was, when I say it was rough,
It was
it was rough. I loved every minute of it. I'm not complaining, but as far as my chemistry goes, it was about all I could literally handle. Like it was one of those, the lady beside me is a nurse and she's like, "Do I need to call and get you help?" She asked me that like enough times that I'm like, "No, I'm okay. I'm just," it was rough. So, but needless to say, we did not make it through our fast.
No.
So that's why we kind of got quiet. I didn't want to bring anybody else down that was doing it, but it was one of those moments we just had to tap out. So it was, whew, we are just getting our electrolytes back in. It's starting to feel good, but we are drained. Like, I don't know what it did to us, but there is something in the air
It
of
was an intense
just,
sauna. I know that.
right? For hours. And I mean, we left here like at 2 in the afternoon and got home at 2 in the morning. So it was just, it
It
was
was good. It was date night.
long date night, but oh my gosh, to see my girls, um, Mike or Keith Urban is my daughter's love. So to see all my girls getting to see Keith up close and personal. He signed their hats and their signs and their everything. So
It was neat.
it was a bucket list night. So it was,
Kevin, there was a kid in front of us. It must have been his first time at a concert, and especially
Yeah.
at this concert. He was a younger kid, probably early teenagers, and he was in the corner of the pit, clear up against the stage, right next to Keith. Keith came out on his first song, bent down, and let the kid strum his guitar while he fingered the guitar. Never went out of tune. It was amazing. That kid,
Nice.
we have pictures of it.
There's
That kid
three-
was just blown away. He just blew up. It was awesome.
there was three opening acts, and two of them was really cute young girls, and this kid had to fall in love 15 times in the night. So he found out what hormones were and everything, I'm sure, that night. So
Yeah, that's pretty good.
it was pretty sweet. So, anyways, enough about all that. But that is why we kind of bowed out on the fast and everything, and we're getting there. So, Kev,
That's just to let everybody know that's us listening to our body too,
yeah,
and knowing that at that point we don't need to push through a fast at that moment. Not that we couldn't have, but it really would have been a struggle, and we may have probably failed. So we're better off to say, wait a minute, time out. Let's just go back, do the proper thing, get some sardines, get our fats up, and we'll try again at another date.
and normally fasting always makes me feel better. This was not one of those times. I literally, the longer I went, the more drained I was feeling. It was like, okay, I can't do it. So just know, learning to listen to your body is the key
absolutely.
the key to that night. So come on in, Kev. Tell us how you're doing. In case you got
I'm doing great, but one thing I want to mention is those of us who now, myself included, consume a lot of salt. That's a rough day when it's affecting you, because that's what happens. I go to a lot of music festivals that are 12, 14, 15 hours. And if you don't have the electrolytes in ahead of time, you're not going to be able, there's no way you'll be able to keep going. So good for you. So anyway, things are going real well for me. I've had 18 out of 21 days with my blood glucose in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Wow. I seen you posted that the other day. You're down through it. That was amazing, dude. I'm so proud of you.
I've never had it this well this long.
Nice.
I had
That's
a
awesome.
92 in there. The blood sugar was bound and determined to pop through. That found some hiding in my pinky toe or something.
You're digging out and cleaning the nooks and crannies.
Yeah. And then it went right back, and there was no rhyme or reason for it. It just boom, there's 92. Freaked me out.
And
then
anybody
I've been
watching,
really-
just know, first of all, Kevin's at this for 3 years. So he's been at it. He's faithful in it. He's not just jumping in and starting and assuming it's going to go that nice and low. He's done the
He's
work.
done work.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got to do the work. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a year probably. So just keep working at it, everybody. And other than that, I've been staying beyond crazy busy, which is helping. Beyond crazy busy. So other than that, nothing really much to say except for finally have pool weather.
Right?
Goodness,
Right.
geez. And my gardens are doing well. Yeah, that's right. I grow vegetables, people.
That he
That's
can't
right.
eat.
I'm a
But he
keto
don't
guy,
eat.
but I don't eat them. My neighbors are happy.
Right?
Yeah,
You know what? I love that he blesses somebody else because he enjoys gardening and he cooks for his family and he does all the things. So kudos to you, Kevin, for even being able to cook and do all that without it. Because I'm telling you, just having the kids here, and having to cook for them, yeah, that's another whole rough story that I'm not.
Oh, I already have my 4th of July menu out. It's sweet corn, baked beans, all the normal fare. But I ain't eating that stuff.
Wow.
You go, dude.
I do it all the time. Do it all the time.
I love it.
I love it. I
Well,
love
we
it.
want to talk about the little bit of the 4th of July weekend. I want everybody to keep in mind, you just got to remember, say it with me, tribe. Eat
Eat
the
the
meat,
meat,
add the fat.
That's that.
cut
Cut the
the
crap.
skin.
That is all you got to think of when you go. Make it about the people and the relationships. Make it about family gathering. Do not make it about how many desserts you can cram and screw up your numbers because one nice big cookout with grandma's favorite apple pie is enough to jack you up for a really long time and undo all the work that you just did. So please stay focused on what matters and not about the sugars and the sweets around the cookout. So I want everybody to have a good
And by
weekend.
the way, I'm making homemade apple pie too.
Dude,
You suck. Like, what the hell?
we know
Talk
where we're
about
going.
testing your will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, I
telling you,
mean, I've done it for several years. It's not a big deal. I do it at Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that. So,
oh,
but
I'm so proud of you, Kev.
I'll have my stuff. Ribs are on the menu.
Nice.
Yep. I'm telling you, I have one of my old COVID masks in my kitchen on my cabinet, hanging on the doorknob, because when I start cooking,
She tastes.
I taste everything. So it's like I have to put the darn mask on to remember not to taste my kids' food as I'm cooking their lunch. So I mean, it's just, but it's one of those tools. I have to do it or I screw it up. So I kudos to all of you. And our little Maddox hasn't been able to be left alone or anything. So he's been staying with Nana and Papa if he can't be with his mom and dad. And just being able to navigate this with a little one in the house
Mm.
is a whole different mindset that I'm not used to. You know, that it's usually just Lance and I, we stay busy, the kitchen's ready and cleaned up, and there's nothing out. And you go out and there's snacks and yogurt and all the things all over the counter and in the fridge and all the stuff. And it's what a whole different mindset of, dang, wow, you forget how that addiction gets sparked and how much you can go backwards and how easy it is to trip you up. So it's given me a whole new respect for everybody that has kiddos at home that's got to do this. So
Hmm.
I just got to deal with him. So
Throw me under the bus.
great. All right, Lenny, come on in. Tell us how you're doing.
I'm doing very well, thank you. And yeah, I've just so today's 1 month that I've actually been totally keto once again in my life, and I can't explain like the amount of energy that I have. Like, I, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying different things here and there, not changing a whole lot. But yeah, I think I have it down. I didn't do any sardines this past weekend. And I'm not quite sure if I'm ready to do like a 3 day fast. I'm happy where I'm at right now. I think I have the protein and the fats down pretty good. I eat 2 meals a day, and my numbers are very, very consistent, like with the ketones and my glucose. I end up with a DBR normally like in the low to mid 30s.
Nice.
Yeah, and so I guess the only thing is like like I just can't explain it. Like I just feel awesome. Like that's how I feel. Um, I've lost 17 pounds in 1 month,
Amen. That's
and
awesome.
I don't put in the chronometer. I found out that like every time I lose weight, because I want to lose like a pound and a half a week, but every time I put my weight in, it takes the calories down for me. And I don't know. I've still been keeping the same amount of calories, same fat, and I still keep losing weight.
Okay, so let me jump in real quick for you. First of all, please do not watch the calories because this is a fat-based led diet that if you watch calories, eventually it's going to catch up with you and mess with your head. So if you're a calories guy, be careful of that. And just be, at least if you're going to do it, be head off in it when it starts not working or the numbers aren't looking right, because you should be consuming way more calories than what you're used to keep losing that weight, because we want that chemistry to lose the weight, not just water weight and going backwards. So make sure you stay focused on that. And there was another thing I was going to bring out. What else? Oh, I would not be 3-day fasting yet for you.
No.
You're still at 2 meals a day. You're still trying to get this chemistry going. Keep doing what you're doing until it stops working, because your metabolism will catch up at that point. Then readjust and move it forward. But don't watch the calories. Keep hitting those macros and just keep moving forward. And eventually that will kind of level out and plateau.
Okay, so I guess, I think I mentioned it the last time. I have this big thing about the whole protein. And I've been keeping my protein at about 65 grams. I mean, I can't say that I've lost any strength. If anything, I still feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep my fats at about 185, 190 grams. Comes out to about 1900 calories. And I've been keeping it the same like that for like the last 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm just gonna stay that way. If anything, I do feel like maybe every once in a while munching on like a stick of butter, but that's about it.
Yep. And again, that ratio will work for you for a while, and ride that out as long as it does. And then that's when you know you need to shift. That's when you either need to go down to 1 meal a day, you need to push up metabolism somehow. So do it until it doesn't work any longer. But again, don't get set on those calories, because
Okay.
I'm saying that from a calorie counting person. Like, that's what I used to teach. So it's one of those,
o-
that's a hard mind shift that you've got to think differently.
Okay. Yeah. So like I'm a weigher. Like I weigh everything. Like even my eggs, when I go to make the eggs, I weigh them before I crack them. I weigh the shells and
Oh,
then I
geez.
weigh. Yes, it's terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
um,
Okay, then I'm going to warn you ahead of time. Stop worrying about the calories, because you're going to obsess on numbers here eventually. And I'm telling
uh,
you, the numbers will not match up. When you start saying, oh my gosh, I have to eat this many calories to get that fat in you, it's going to freak you out. So I'm just warning you a little bit ahead of time. So
okay.
be careful.
Yeah, the best I feel is on the weekends. I tend to do just one meal a day, and I like to do about 10 eggs per meal. And that's when my numbers really come down, like the DBR comes down into the 20s.
Nice.
And yeah, and I feel awesome too. So um yeah. So anyway, that's about all I have. I mean, I have lots of questions on other stuff, but I don't want to take up too much time. And besides, I'll be on the Tuesday night with you soon.
Sweet. That'll be awesome. And if you got questions, just put them over in that group too. I can get to you over there. Or if it's something you think pertain to everybody, go ahead and ask them. We got time. You're good.
Okay. Yeah, I guess the only real question I have is I've been going back because I bought that course from drboz, what is it, the Continuum?
Continuum. Yep.
Yes. And so like my big question is like what's the best way of like can you actually get into like if you're in the 20s in the DBR, are you actually in autophagy or does that really only happen when you're doing just like a clean fast?
I mean, of course, it's going to be stronger in a clean fast, but even when you're hitting in those low 20s and 30s and stuff, DBR, you've got to be touching on autophagy. It's not one of those markers that we can make an exact measurement of, but it's one of those, the probability you're hitting autophagy is just going to get stronger and stronger as you move into the fasting. But wait until your chemistry is completely ready, then go into the fasting. Then you get the max benefits of the autophagy, the healing, the cellular turnover, and cleanup all at one time. That's kind of why it's kind of putting the brakes on and saying, just hold tight right here, right now. Don't push into the fasting quite yet, because it's working right now. Obviously, your numbers are doing well. You're feeling good. Ride this wave for a little bit till your body gets a little bit comfort with it. Then fasting is that one of those steps that we can.
Aw.
Oh, let me see. Oh,
There you go.
That's Frankie.
That's right.
What's his name?
Frankie.
Frank.
Frankie.
Oh, is he cute?
Frankie the pug.
He's a pug.
Oh, is he cute? But just be mindful of that and don't be afraid of it. So don't worry about the autophagy. It'll get stronger and stronger, but when you push into that fasting is where you're really going to dive in with both feet. So
I mean, you're teetering on that one meal a day, just from what you said but with the weekends,
yeah,
that you do one meal a day. If anything,
push that.
if you ever wanted to push anything, I would probably push into the one meal a day.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that gradually. The reason I do it on the weekends is because I'm not at work. So at work, I do a lot of walking. It's kind of physical. I'm outside all day. So I try to stay with the two meals and I drink lots of water. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to tell you is I bought some of that. How do you pronounce it? Baja salt?
Baja Gold.
Bahago.
Baja Gold. Yeah, I bought some of that. And I use that at work a lot. I do normally about 2 to 3 tablespoons with my water throughout the day.
Nice.
That works.
Yep.
Do you like
Yeah.
it? I mean, do you?
Oh, I love the way it mixes with the water. I got the fine granular.
Yep. Nice.
Good.
Very good. Well, yeah, I mean that would probably be the biggest thing that I would say. But hold on to what you're doing. If your numbers are rocking, do it till it wears it out.
Yep.
Okay.
And then
All right.
and then when
I
it
will.
stops working, then push you to that next level.
Right.
So
Okay.
you'll get there, but good job, bud.
All right.
Come
Sounds
on in,
good.
Lisa and Keith. Come and tell us how you're doing. Good to
Hi
see
guys.
you.
Hello.
So I lost the fight with my continuous glucose monitor this morning.
Yes, we kicked her out.
I bet you Keith is like, hey, yes.
Yes.
So I mentioned last week that I don't remember if it was Tuesday or Wednesday, that I was weaning myself off semaglutide and wanted to use the CGM to make sure I didn't tank in the process, that whole thing. And not Tammie is teaching me that a glucose level under 50 is not a bad thing. So
Nope.
that was a paradigm shift, not Tammie. Thank you for that.
Not him.
So I last dose of semaglutide was last Sunday, and so I went this week, and so I wanted to just see what was happening as I got farther away from the last dose. But last night, starting at 4:40, every 20 to 30 minutes or so, my monitor went off because I was well under 60 in the glucose range, and it was just screaming.
You can
Oh,
you can
yeah.
feel the tension in the house.
My gosh.
Yeah.
It wakes me up and it won't stop until I go in and silence the alarm. And when I got up at 4:40, Holy Spirit was like, check your glucose levels. So I actually did my glucose and ketones, which I can do in under 2 minutes now. I'm in and out. So, because I want to go back to it was 85. My glucose was 85 and the monitor was going off saying I was under 60. So that's a
Yep.
30-point swing, Tammie, that you mentioned with someone else a couple weeks ago. So it's going off all night. I finally get up and get situated, and I check it again, and my glucose from the Keto Mojo was still over 80, and it's showing like 54. So I was like, I'm done.
And that's
And
where
Keith,
those are hard because they're not cheap to start with, but they're such a beautiful tool to use. And it's great for, to look at those trends and to see the graphs and all those things. I'm not knocking it, but when you have to recalibrate it and it goes off, I didn't know if I was going to wake up an amputee because he was either going to throw me or my arm out the window. And it was just all like,
Yeah,
we're working on our sleep to try to build ketones. And I'm like, nobody can sleep
right.
because my meter would go off so often.
Right. I mean, I still ended up under 80 this morning. I think my second set of numbers put me at a DBR of around 65 or something. So that 440 was 56, but it's screaming at me and it's not even accurate. And I just, so it's not worth it. So, because I don't sleep well when it goes off and
Right.
it's just going off, going off, going off. So,
So
Yep.
use your morning waking numbers with your Keto Mojo. Those
yes,
are the ones that are going to direct you the best anyways. So
right. Yeah.
just don't be afraid
So,
of those.
I have been paying attention. I've gained a pound this week. Not sure where that's coming from, so I'll keep watching just to, see if it's time to tighten things up. I'm at a 9 a.m. to about a 1:30 eating window.
Nice.
And that's only 2 meals. So I got a little tired of my fried eggs, so today I boiled them. So, and it reset my taste buds, so I'll stick with the boiled eggs for the next few days, and see how we're doing there. Um, and that's really where we are. We have a friend coming on Sunday, not quite sure yet what time she's coming. So I'll put some meat on the grill. She's far from keto, so I'll need to come up with some veggie thing for her. So so we'll deal with that. And then next Saturday we have guests coming for we have dinner with people. So we haven't determined whether they're coming here or we're going to them. So if they are coming to us, they've been here before, so I'll do the collard greens again. And they'll tell us if they want mac and cheese again. Like Kev, we don't get tripped up by having carbs for other people. But I want this time, instead of doing the cheesecake in the single serve, I'm going to freeze some heavy whipping cream and make a vanilla ice cream. So, and it'll just be
Kudos.
heavy whipping cream in the Vitamix. So it'll be liquid heavy whipping cream, frozen heavy whipping cream, and the vanilla stevia. And that'll be our dessert.
Another way to do that is to add the heavy whipping cream, whip it with some egg yolks in it
Oh,
and freeze. It
okay.
just makes that little bit of rich, and then add the vanilla or the little bit of stevia to them.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Say that again.
Heavy whipping cream and egg yolks.
And no freezing.
Yes, still
Oh.
mix it all in just like you would in the Vitamix or whatever, and then
Mhm.
freeze it, and then you can whip it again. We have that cremini, the cream ninja
Ninja creamy.
thing.
That's just a finisher.
It just makes it the texture. It's just a cream thing. But if you're doing it in the Vitamix, still just put it in there with some frozen and combine it, but add some
Okay.
egg yolks to it. It
Egg
gives it
yolks
that
give
rich
give it a rich body in
Hot
it.
dog. Okay.
Yeah.
and some good more long bigger fat. So
Yeah, more fat.
more fat.
More
So
fat.
I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys have this mastered.
Keith,
and
you look well rested,
Yeah.
my friend.
how you feeling?
I'm doing fine. I do have some questions. This is week 3 that I started, thanks to Lenny. I took the challenge and I eat sardines twice a day.
Sweet.
Nice.
We're only doing 2 meals a day. So
Yep.
so every meal he has a can of sardines.
How do you feel?
I mean, I've never been against them, so for me, it was just a matter. I've tried them by themselves in the oil. I've added mayo and avocado oil and
Zug.
Zug, and I've done sour cream before, but I noticed that I could do them plain and just put some mayo in there, and I like that best.
Yep. And if the simpler you can get a menu, the better.
Mhm.
So do what you have to do to get a menu, but the plainer you can keep them, the better, because you're just, those of us that don't like them, we're just masking. It's like, you know what, they just need to go in and keep it as simple as you can. So good job.
So I had the swollen ankles with the salt. I was doing the Baja. I had switched over from the other salt,
Redmond.
Redmond. So okay, so I tried an experiment. I have some electrolytes, and so I tried switching that out to see, and it worked.
Nice.
So my ankles do not swell like they were doing.
What electrolytes?
The Body Health, which is
So Body Health is created by Dr. David Minkoff, who is the guy who created the Perfect Amino, which is the 8 essential amino acids. And those amino acids actually are the building blocks for all the other amino acids. And so he has a line of products that come through Body Health. And the electrolytes are salt, magnesium, potassium, because Tammie talks about gotta having both of those. A tad bit of the perfect amino blend, and there's one other thing in there. It shows up as 000 in the chronometer, so no protein, no carbs.
Good.
But I shared
Are they flavored?
yes, and so but there is he sweetens them with stevia and monk fruit. So
As long as you're doing them in your eating window, then perfect.
yeah.
I wouldn't, don't do them
Oh,
on your fasting.
interesting.
Don't do them
Okay.
on your fasting day,
Right.
Got it. Okay. We
because
aren't fasting yet.
Well,
Should we be
Okay.
fasting?
Nope, nope,
Nope.
nope, nope.
Oh,
If you're not
okay.
fasting, don't. But that's just something for down the road. You
Okay.
don't want to add that when you're fasting because
Understood.
you're not going to get the benefit of a true fast if you do that. That's all.
Understood. Okay. So
Nice.
because his ankles were still super swollen and we saw that they came up as zeros across protein,
Good
fat, and
job.
carbs, I'm like, let's see if we can get the swelling down because he was gaining weight. He was, so
and my thirst is no longer an issue, so that means my body was at the point
Getting
of
there.
right.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
because he was retaining fluid, I thought let's try this to see if it will release the fluid.
Yep.
Good
And
job.
yeah.
Nice.
So
I
Good
mean,
deal. I mean, there must be something that you need that you're not getting with the salts that you need extra. So kudos to paying attention to your body. Your body's not going to lead you wrong. It really's not.
because I switched off of the Redmonds when we talked previously and went to the Baja, and then the Baja was giving me something that the Redmonds was had already satisfied.
Right.
And
So
that
don't be afraid to trade them
Mix
up.
and match.
Mix them up. I mean, get them in, yeah.
So I'm gonna ask one more question so you can get around the room.
Yep.
Do it.
On chronometer, I am, my we preset our meals for the next day once we finish, and then we tweak off of that based on what type of meat we're going to eat. And my numbers keep changing. I actually got my carbs down to 2.8.
Nice.
Amen. Nice work.
So because I shifted with the sardines, so I was able
right.
to grab a lot with that. And then I'm not as aggressive as you are with the olive oil. I just stay with one tablespoon. I'm not taking it to the head like you
Oh,
do.
come on. You can chug it.
If that's the case, I would probably get my numbers lower because that's all I would be drinking was oil.
Yep.
Your name comes up in our house a lot, Tammie. So it's
Oh my.
like
And that,
so.
I was going to say, at some point, it does work, though. Trust me.
So I'm trying to figure out on the chronometer because I've been playing around with it. Um, they have this thing that's talking about the energy expenditure, and it
Yeah.
makes absolutely no sense to me yet.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. It's one of those things you can actually set your energy expenditure. Back in the days when we used to do calories in and calories out, your energy burned would matter because the more energy you burned, the more grace it gave you for calories in. Now we want to shift that thing. Kind of the same thing we're talking about with Lenny. We want to shift that thinking from it's not calories in and calories out anymore. It's fuel in, energy out, so it's how is our chemistry going, not as much how many calories are we consuming. It is, down the pike later on when all the other things have happened, then you worry about calories. That's just a different mind shift, like where Kev's at right now. When he's hit his goal weight or Lance hits his goal weight, when you guys get further down that pike like that, then you can start shifting and playing with calories. Or if you have somebody that doesn't want to lose any more weight, like, hey, I've hit the number I want to get at. Now we can start juggling calories and worrying about different proteins and fat grams, but it's just a different mind shift. So don't worry about that energy out right now. It's a chemistry shift we're looking for, and you still go by that and see that by that DBR.
So that's how I got there because I put in my weight count.
Mhm.
And so I'm trying to look at them like, okay, everything's based on what you put your goal and then what your weight is, and then it creates your
Plan.
Yep.
yes. And I can't see what the calories are I'm supposed to eat a day, or am I just eating? And
Yeah,
then
not looking at
You're
calories.
not looking at calories.
Do
well,
not.
I'm not looking at it for that number. I've been exercising and I'm trying to see I've
You
seen
got,
some where they'll put the exercise in there, but mine is not doing it. So it's
are
kind
you
of really that. I'm not counting calories. I'm just looking to see how it makes more efficient.
are you Apple or Android?
Android.
Okay, then there should be something that will go into like a health tracker of some kind if you're looking at tracking your exercise that
Yeah.
should tie to chronometer as I forget how they
Yeah.
put it.
Well, you have to sync it and then it'll pull it over
Correct.
once you register it on one side, it pulls to the other one.
Correct. Like I'm an Apple guy, so my Apple Health is connected to my chronometer. So my things from my chronometer, it reads my Apple Health in my chronometer. It'll read my heart rate. It'll read my exercise goals for the day, how many steps I did, and all that jazz. It'll read it in chronometer. But I would probably say for you, I would just go by the health tracker and watch the numbers go up as you get more energy because you just need to concentrate on those fats and zero carbs and let the magic happen.
And that's what I've been doing.
Okay.
This is the time to ask the question. So I just
Oh
focus
yeah.
on doing that. So,
Absolutely.
But the energy thing, I mean, it's part of the calculation. I don't know how it is, but I know that mine affects me a lot too because I'm so active,
Mhm.
and it kind of skews my numbers. So I kind of know what feels right and
Mhm.
what
mhm.
I go by what feels right. So not necessarily by those calorie numbers. I mean, it's neat to
Right.
look at, but I really don't put a whole lot of time in that.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm
Any
on
other
track.
questions?
Thank you. I'm
Any other questions?
No, I'm on track. So thank you.
All right.
Good job.
Sounds good. Come on in, Audrey.
Good morning, everybody.
Good
Nice
morning.
Good
to see you
morning.
all. Yeah, we've just had a bomb cyclone go through, so the
Ooh,
wind's trying to tear the roof off.
Oh no.
Oh,
for Pete's sake.
hectic, hectic. So, yeah, if you can just remember us, poor old Australia's copping it bad this year.
Oh,
We will pray for you.
Thank you. Um, all well. I have some concerns. I saw a Dr. Boz a video the other day, and when you do your 3-day fast, your ketones will go up and your glucose comes down, your blood sugar comes down really nicely. But the first meal you eat just sends it way up again. And so it's a little disheartening because then you eat, for 4 days and then you do your fast. So it's almost as if you're not getting anywhere.
Okay.
Help me
So
out, please. My husband and I
okay, so part of that is let's check what are you refeeding with, and is it a celebration meal first of all, or is it just a
no,
can
no,
of
no, no.
sardines?
No, we broke it with a couple of eggs that night. And the next day we had our normal meal,
Okay.
whatever that was. But it didn't actually bring mine have come down and stayed down. His have gone right up to where he always was.
Okay.
And
So
Charles doesn't eat at all. So we're a bit flummoxed.
okay, are you both putting it in chronometer so we know that he's not getting over protein or anything like that? Is that all those steps taken care of?
You raise a very valid point. The overeating, yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably half the
So what
issue.
happens?
portion control is huge.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's key.
And that's
But it
Go
still
ahead.
raises it.
but it's when you go through the fast and you do all that work, so everything drops down, those ketones shoot up and
Mm.
everything. But what happens is and it's a hard, it's another mind shift that has to happen because I mean, I told you guys we used to get ribeyes cut that were,
Oh, we'd
we get done
You've
with
been where we
we
are.
would refeed, boy, I'm telling you.
Oh,
we would fast for 3 days, do it perfectly, and then sit down and eat a ribeye the size of our head.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
But
I mean, it really was.
It literally are not just what you said. We would take 3 steps forward, clean it up, and then we'd fill that liver right back up. And you literally have to have that mindset of I'm cleaning out all the nooks and crannies, I'm getting all the numbers nice and good, and I just undid everything
Everything.
by nothing but a piece of meat. Because
yeah.
too much protein is still going to raise that glucose, which is going to raise the glucose, drop the ketones, and we're back at square one.
Yep.
That's gluconeogenesis. That's cleaning that glycogen in the liver. So that is where this is the next step of that journey when you start learning how to manage a fast and come out of the fast not wanting to celebrate. I look at day 4, 5, and 6 as the extent of our fast of how good can we stay on the refeeding days. Now, this doesn't
Okay.
happen when you first start fasting. This is later on down the road when you're tired of beating your head against the wall of fasting and not getting anywhere and thinking, what the hell is going on? Now you're like, okay, now on we break our fast on Wednesday, but Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I do not want to fill that liver back up.
I'm going to say
Yeah.
that if you break your fast on your third day, your third, fourth, and fifth day are probably more important than your first, second, and third
Yep.
because
It's setting you up for
of
this
what
fast.
you're putting back in your body. You've just gotten rid of a bunch of stuff. So
Mm.
be mindful in that next bite of food. I put in all this work. What do I really want to accomplish here? Do I want to go back and have to do it again and again? Or can I get a step ahead by not by making a wise choice on this first meal back and then make another wise choice on your second meal back and on through the week. It's just something that builds upon each other. And once you get back to that, or when you get to that, it starts to be an easy rhythm. So you don't have that big celebration meal and fill yourself back up. You kind of are mindful of like, dude, I just did a 72-hour fast. I know that I really don't need a whole lot to put back in my body. I need a little bit and I need to be mindful of what I put in there. But then we're going to go for another, I won't eat till the next day. So
Yeah.
you've already proven
Yeah.
it to yourself that you can do it. Have a little bit to kind of replenish and then move on.
The other thing too is checking if you've built your chemistry up and you've done the work to get to those 72-hour fasts. On the other days, I want you to still, which means you went from 3 meals a day to 2 meals a day to 1 meal a day. Then you go to your fasting. On your refeeding days, you should still be back at one meal a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
1 meal a day. So really, truly, we're making 4 meals a week. 4 times food is going down the hatch and filling up a week. So when you get in that rhythm, it's trying to, first of all, zip it after that 1 meal a day, which is not easy to do. How many of us open up the fridge and want to bite just a bite of this or just a bite of that, or some cream in your coffee, or some bites of pepperoni and cheese, just those little snacky things that are easy to grab. That raises everything back up and opens up your eating window.
Yep.
So you're again putting it right back in. You're not giving that liver that long term to clean out. And it's learning a mind shift and a lifestyle of I am not here to snack all day. It is whether I got to stay busy, walk away, lock the fridge, tape it shut, whatever mind games you need to play, stop putting food in. And the earlier you stop putting that food in, the better that morning number will be.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not easy. And that is something that develops over time. And it takes time to break those habits in the brain. It takes time to get strong enough to say, I am not going, and bullheaded, I am not going to undo everything I just busted my butt to do through a 3-day fast. That takes time. Do not take that lightly, and don't push your chemistry, but don't push your body to enough to your mindset to where you're going to crash and burn. Don't go on a binger or something like that because you're
Yeah. I don't think that Charles and I are quite 1 meal a day. I mean, I can do it for a few days and then I'm just ravenous.
there you go.
Then it's
Yep.
just I've got to eat. I've got to find and if I don't eat carefully, then I'm going to look for food.
So that's exactly what is happening is you're
So we don't do that. I would rather go and have that extra piece of protein so that I don't go cheat looking for something.
Go for the fat
instead of
True.
instead of protein. Go to the fat instead of protein because your body will use the fat for fuel. If you're
Yeah.
hungry, it's looking for fuel. Don't go with
Yeah.
the protein, go with the fat.
Okay.
It's a better punch. It'll satisfy you quicker
True.
with less.
The other thing we've done is even with having Maddox over here, because this poor kid can't leave our site. So we've put a thing of butter out on the butter dish out on the counter and we give him a spoon. And I'm like, buddy, every time you walk by, he'll dip it in there, salt the butter and eat it. And you got to be careful. And God love the poor little kid.
He found out the hard way.
He didn't hit his fat macros. And I'm like, buddy, you got to get some more butter in you. Kevin, yeah, he needs to call you.
He went 5 teaspoons of butter in a row.
Oh, and he hit the toilet hard.
She says, Nana, we're sitting here, you know, he has to sit here beside me while I'm working. And we're sitting here and he gets up and he's like, Nana, I gotta go. He goes and runs back to the bathroom, comes back out a few minutes later. He's like, Nana, I gotta go relax.
Oh, shame.
Comes back and sits down. And he says, Nana, that butter's tearing me up.
Oh, shame.
So you gotta be careful.
You gotta be mindful.
But salt that butter and get that, because the salt will give you the minerals if you're just craving something. So that salt in that butter. So go to that instead of the extra meal of protein.
Yeah.
Then if you're still hungry and needing something, then turn to some protein if you need it or you're missing something. But work on the fat. Lead with the fats.
This
And
is fat based.
True.
This
True,
is
true,
where you're
true.
going to get your energy from.
And it's not easy. I mean, that is, like I said, this is the part where that longevity of repetition is where we're building a new neural pathway in the brain. We're breaking the habit of, I don't need to open the fridge every time I walk into the kitchen. I mean, that's a huge mindset and a neural pathway in the brain, because we've done that our whole lives. We walk to the kitchen and we open the fridge. We stopped watching TV because every commercial, one of us would go pee and the other one would open the fridge. And then with next commercial, we'd rotate positions. The other one would go pee and the other one would walk out and open up the fridge. So we literally quit watching TV for 6 months. Like, we didn't turn our TV on at all. It worked, because now it's not a habit as bad for us.
Yeah, we're not grazers. We don't kind of snack and all of that sort of thing. That's not our issue. But I hear what you're saying. You know, every time you go on Facebook, it's just all these recipes. You kind of know. I don't want to see food.
No,
you
know, you can go up and X out on those and cross those out, so don't keep coming up on your feed.
Literally. Yeah, exactly.
I want to say Jeff McCarter's over here on the back end on YouTube. So welcome, Jeff. We're glad to have you back, buddy. We've missed you. And if anybody sees Jeff over there, encourage him. But
Jeff McCarter is Sue Farrell's son.
And he is amazing. He's the one that came on and showed us he was struggling getting his fats in him, and he doesn't have a lot of time. He's busy and working and all the things. He literally takes a stick of butter, melts it in a cup, and drinks it. And it was one of those, oh man. And it was in the middle of the winter. And he's like, Tammie, go try it. And I'm like, you know what? This isn't half bad. It almost gives you, that sensation that you would have when you would have popcorn with lots of butter on it. And it gives you that yummy, like warm, whatever feeling. It is. It was almost like that. Now you got to sip it, but God love the man. So he's got everybody drinking butter and melting down sticks of butter at a time. But when you have to get a cup of butter in you a day, you have got to do what you got to do to hit that every day. That is,
and do it slowly.
Yes, slowly
as your body can handle it. Yep.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, I would watch your refeeding days just as much as you watch your fasting days.
Thank you. I said to Charles, we saw a video years ago, and it was on your insulin takes a long time to come down.
Yep.
Yes.
We know, you've got your cells, and they take 3 months to replenish or whatever they do, regenerate. And so the amount of insulin that you develop will take years to come down. And I said to him, you've done your 3-day fast, and you're at a new, slightly lower.
Yep.
And so the next time, a new slightly lower. And
you don't fall back to where you started from. You fall back to even if it's one baby step ahead.
That's what I'm saying. It will come down little. But I hear what you say with don't celebrate with a huge amount of food.
Yep.
Yeah.
And bulk up on fat.
The steak that used to feed us in one meal, we used to eat these 22 to 24 ounce ribeyes in one sitting.
Yeah.
Once, like it was a roast.
It was on, brother.
We used to feed a family of 4 with a piece of meat. And it was what we would celebrate with. And then it's like, I don't know why my numbers are bad. And you guys
exactly. 2 days later, you hear my numbers are still amazing. And I'm kind of,
so
here's why,
a little trick you can do with that.
I don't know what's going on here.
A little trick you can do with that is go back to sardines on the feeding days.
That's what I'm thinking.
And here's my thinking again. I have to play mind games with myself. So this isn't, but I have to say, if 4.5 ounces of sardines fills me up,
that's how much food you need.
Don't need a 22 ounce ribeye.
Nope.
That's true. If that fills you up, that little tin
fills me just fine. And just know
that's how much food you should have on your plate.
Yes.
The next week, whatever it is.
So why does the steak need to be this big?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't, but the
Yeah.
mind shift in the game that we play with ourselves, it truly is. I mean, I just do those sardines and walk away again. So even though it's a feeding day, get the nutrition in you and then act like you're back to fasting. Just
Yeah.
get in a
Yeah.
fasting mindset of
Yeah.
I don't need to eat all day long.
Yeah. I hear you guys.
Don't need
Yeah,
to.
that's very good advice. Thank you.
It is. You're welcome.
It's going to be a hard pill to swallow.
And
Oh,
you
yeah.
will notice
Wow.
that's where the brains course comes in and that
Yeah.
neural pathway in the brain of how many times a day does food knock on your door? How many times
Oh,
a day does your thought process go to food?
yeah.
When you're ticked off, when you're tired, when you're whatever, every emotion we have, we turn to food. And it's learning to change that. And that's why we try to stay so busy. We try to stay moving, but it's that whole mindset of, when we are fasting, like when we went to break our fast the other day, we just didn't feel good. Something was off. And we
Yeah.
both say, like, okay, are you sardine hungry? Are we
No.
just wanting to eat or are you sardine hungry? For me to say I'm sardine hungry,
She's hungry.
Then,
I'm
then
hungry.
you're
There's a
hungry.
problem.
Yeah.
So, because
Yeah.
I can clean fast so much easier than I can sardine challenge.
Well, Charles does clean fast because he cannot bear sardines. It just brings the gag reflex. So, that's on him. But yeah. So he does his clean fast. And then we had our 2 eggs, and the next morning only we had breakfast or something. But yeah, I would definitely suggest to him the portions have got to be so much smaller.
And I
And
get
here's one other thing too, what you just said. If you're at one meal a day, don't eat that night and then eat the next morning. Wait until the next morning. Can stretch your fast a little bit to the
Okay.
next morning. If you do that step, you may see some different results in your numbers too. Because you're eating twice within 12 hours, right after a fast.
I hear you. Just it was our first fast. So you've kind of primed yourself to Wednesday night, we're going to have a little something. And there is no ways you're not letting go of that thought. By the time I got from town on Wednesday, my stomach was even making a noise. Feed me.
Right? Then I would wait. Then the next day, I wouldn't eat in the morning. I would push that towards the
lunchtime,
afternoon more.
We're on the farm and we've got solar paneling, and so if I'm doing my cooking, it happens at lunchtime when I have peak power.
Yep.
So that if I cook at night, then I've got to use mains, and then I'm paying for it. So lunch. So I'll just tell them you've got to skip your breakfast. It's lunch. And a small lunch.
Here's another thing to keep in mind when it comes to snacking or anything like that, of that mindset of, oh, I just need a bite of this or I just need a bite of that. You need to think of you are stimulating insulin. When you take that bite, you're stimulating that insulin again.
Yeah, I know.
So
yeah.
Is it worth, if you're not, here's again the conversation.
Make it worth it.
Make it worth it. Are you hungry enough to stimulate insulin? Then eat until you're full. Because if you don't, you just stimulated insulin
for no reason.
For no reason. You're not eating enough nutrition to get anything in you. You're not really full. You're not anything. So it's that mindset of, again, why are you taking a bite of something?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's hard. That's the hardest, I think, one of the last steps of the hard part at home to break. At least it is for the two of us, because we don't have anything extra. We don't have snacks. We don't have treats or anything. Anything like that to jump ship. But there is still, the pepperoni in the fridge or sliced cheese that we bought for burgers or something like that. It is still so easy to walk by and grab a piece of that and it's just a piece. But no, if it's not going in during a meal, then we've just opened up that eating window that much further. You're stimulating that I want conversation. Food shouldn't be an I want. That's not, is it time for food is nutrition, and that is when it needs to go in and how it needs to go in, and quit thinking of it as I want. And that again is usually, if it's just an I want something, that's usually the mindset that we need to work on.
And the other thing, which is a good and a bad, let's put it that way, I obviously telling everybody about my journey and how it's going, and everybody's saying you're losing weight, you're looking good, etc. That's wonderful. And then they want to know, so what is this diet about? They'll tell me what their ailments are. And I'll say, you've got to bring the inflammation down, which is brought about by the amount of insulin in your body. What are you eating? And so they all want to go keto for health reasons.
Well,
which is
send them
making
to
me
our website.
accountable. I've got to stay on track so that I am a good example to them. I'm thinking, this is
Exactly.
awesome. Well done.
Well, please, anybody we can help like that, Audrey, just send them to our website and have them email me. I'd gladly reach out and do a video
Absolutely.
call with
I
them.
appreciate that. They don't have computers and things. I mean, I'm older generation,
That's
and
all right.
yeah, they don't have that. So I
But
have to be
be the-
the example.
Be the leader.
be the example for it.
Yep.
Really.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, this is, Lord, I didn't see this coming, but yeah, nice.
You know what, though,
Absolutely.
when the people around you see it, I mean, that's like, I mean, Kevin's got his own harem that follows him on
Yeah.
everybody that he talks, talks with it. It's
Mr. Not Tammie.
right. He just has such a beautiful story of the people that's watched him barely be able to walk to
But
he's
again, I will go back to Kevin has put the work in, and he has made he called my bluff on it, and I'm glad he did because I'm so proud of him, and I just love to see his success. Every time he has success, I'm like, go man, go, because when I saw him first, I didn't think he would ever do it. I said, there's no way.
Oh,
There's no way he won't do it. And he proves me wrong every day. And every time he posts numbers, he proves me wrong. And I love every minute of it.
Yep.
So,
well, this is what I'm saying. I've got people watching.
yep,
So
absolutely.
I can't afford to fall off the wagon because what testimony is that? You know,
Right.
I'm saying I'm doing it for my health. They want to do it for their health. Yep, it's a good thing.
You
Yeah.
got it. You got it. Lead by example, and you got this. We're proud of
Yeah.
you. Nice work.
Keep
So
going,
I might be
Audrey.
asking questions on their behalf too, but you know,
That's
we'll get to
okay.
that.
That's all good.
Bring it over, bring the questions here, or even put them over in that group. We're going to keep watching
Yeah.
them. So
Yeah.
the other thing too, for those of you in my coaching groups, we're working on the community on the back end. So we're going to have that private community over in the coaching groups that only the coaching people are going to be in. So it's going to be cool. We're getting there.
Mm.
It's slow.
It's getting there.
It's slow. So, you know,
One more level of building, but we're getting there. But we will get there. So Audrey, let me know if you need any help.
Thank you so much,
Bob,
guys.
Audrey,
Yes.
hang in there.
Heather, do you want to come in and check in? I know sometimes you guys are busy. There you are.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So I was in Montreal over the weekend. We had a long weekend from Friday and then came back late on Monday night. Um, I would say what screwed me up was that we were going to bed a lot later than I normally go to sleep. So normally I go to bed around 10 or 10:30 and I wake up early and so I'm on a routine, but there were a lot of people around us and we were at a lot of parties and things were finishing at 1 or 2 in the morning and there'd be buffets sitting out. And so although I'd be eating like healthy things, I might be picking on nuts or on raspberries. Like I know I was off because my numbers started changing a bit when I did test myself. And then I was really exhausted because I was just not sleeping properly. Like I just felt like that whole off of the sleep was not good. Um, and then I fasted one day because I said, okay, I need to fast the day I came home because I was like, I need to just get myself back on track. And I fasted until 3:30 on water and coffee. And then I was like driving and craving like crazy ice cream. And I had an ice cream. So I had an ice cream. I'm admitting it there. And then I think I had something small when I came home. I didn't eat a lot. Maybe it was like, I don't remember what it was. It might have been an egg or whatever, but I felt like I've been off because of the whole every night going to bed super late and just, like all these parties all weekend long with the friends and family, my husband's family. So, that to me has been off and I still don't feel myself like today. So it's taken me off quite a bit. I also have been noticing that the ball of my toe, I feel like, I don't know what it is. It feels like inflamed and this happened to me last summer too. So I don't know if it's the heat or if it's uric acid buildup or what. But, that's another thing I've been noticing, like as I walk around. So that's how I've been. So I'd say that I've been off, but I don't feel like I'm totally off. I just feel like it's like all right, time to just try to get back and ease back into my normal schedule and going back into what I was doing previously before I went away.
Okay, biggest thing I would say to that is don't ease back into it. You need to jump back
Jump
in with
back in.
with both
Okay.
feet. Um, just everything you just said, and you know, you didn't say anything that all of us haven't done. And that is what a holiday weekend or a special trip away or something does. But all of those little things that we say, oh, I'm just up a little late, so my sleep's off. Oh, a little bit of raspberries. That don't even fit in the program. But when you get tired and you're not sleeping well and you're eating a little bit of higher carbs than normal, you're stimulating ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone. And
Yeah.
now you're going to want things even more, which makes that craving that says, hey, ice cream sounds really good right now. And if you don't get it, I'm going to punch you in the face.
Now, wait,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Ice cream is always good, but
And Lance,
sorry, that's one of my favorites.
in Lance's
Yeah,
world,
it's my favorite.
ice cream is his vice too. And it's one of those, but
Yeah.
here's one of the things I say on ice cream. Ice cream is too easy to make keto friendly.
Absolutely.
So don't blow it with ice cream. Ice cream is too easy to do. It's heavy cream, egg yolks, and whatever flavoring you want to put in it. You know, a drip of vanilla and a couple drops of stevia. I used orange for the kids. We did the orange, vanilla orange dreamsicle kind of thing with a couple drops of orange essential oil and the vanilla stevia and put that in that ice cream mixture when we did it. And we had
Oh
orange
my.
cream soda ice cream. I did vanilla chai essential oil in the other batch. Again, the heavy whipping cream and eggs are the base, and then you flavor it with whatever sugar-free, not junky flavors that you want. And again, it's a treat, but just so all those little things that you just mentioned, one thing in themselves wouldn't be as big of a deal. But when you combine lack of sleep, a little bit of raspberries, a little bit of ice cream, a little bit out of your sorts, you're not in your routine, and then you're munching on a few nuts here and a little bit of that, you've blown up the whole
You'd be surprised
Yeah.
how that stresses your system.
the stress. And most likely when we're doing that, and I'm speaking of us in general as a group, when we're doing that and we have that weekend, we're not putting in chronometer. We don't even want to know how many calories or how many carbs it really
Yeah, and I'm not
is.
measuring. That's the
And here's
problem.
here's
You're
one
not
thing.
Like to put blinders on.
Yeah, you're not measuring. You're just
Here's
like,
the
all
other
right, have
thing
a
you say.
handful. Yeah.
You know, in the back of your mind, it's like, oh, I shouldn't do that, or oh, this is really
Yes.
hurting me. And every time you do that, it cranks up your stress level because now you know what, I shouldn't have done that, or
But now that I
shouldn't
did it,
be. Exactly. So
Yeah.
your stress, your underlying stress is still building, which is going to rise your glucose, even if you were on track. So
Yeah.
those factors are huge in the whole scheme of things.
and I think there's something to be said on what is the mindset that you go into. I am better at now, and again, this is learning your own personalities because we are polar opposites. I am better at saying, you know what, Saturday we're going to dinner and I'm going to have whatever, or we're going to have a celebration and I'm going to have this, period. But I can go in
A
and have,
bite.
I can go have a bite of something
I cannot.
and feel thrilled and happy and excited and oh my gosh, I'm done. I can take the corner of a Hershey bar or a piece of chocolate or whatever and I'm done. And I'm good. It satiates me. It makes me feel like I have a treat, but I'm done and it's over. I can do that. Not everybody can do that. And I'm not saying, oh, look at me. I'm just saying
Yeah.
you have to know your personality. I can do the discipline in it. He struggles with the
If
moderation.
you open the bag, I'm getting to the bottom.
I'm the same
Period.
as you. I'm the
Period.
same as you, Lance.
So-
Although I wasn't doing that, but I still feel like I think the biggest thing was that my whole schedule was off.
Yep.
All my timing was off when I normally would have my breakfast and my lunch, and then we're going to people's houses for dinner. They're having a huge quantity of food, and I'm like, okay, I want to have breakfast and I'll do lunch and dinner, but I'm not used to that. And then we're eating late and things are getting dragged out, and I felt like the timing and my lack of sleep is what really threw me.
Absolutely.
And then being at someone else's house and like the
Yep.
person feeling, like, oh, they want to make you something or whatever. I still bought my own food, and I didn't succumb to pressure. Like then as soon as I was there the first morning, I'm like, I need to go out and get my heavy cream for my coffee, and I need to get my, grass-fed eggs. And I was like, and I know it was like a little insulting that I was doing that, like staying with someone. And I just said to her, I'm on this really weird diet. I don't expect you to go out and buy all this weird food that I'm eating. I know it's weird. And she was kind of laughing. And I said, but it's working for me. So I'm just going to keep on doing what's on the list. And I said, don't get insulted. It's nothing personal. So
Here's another
I
way to
named it. You know what I mean?
another way to present that. And
Yeah,
not as much that it's weird, but this I'm building health at the cellular level, and these are the
I
things
know.
I need to
Well, when I
do.
started with that, then it was like, oh, well, there's other ways to get healthy. And, so then I just kind of like, because I know what like the
Make a joke.
thinking is like you're on a weird diet. So I knew that was what was in the head.
Probably
Um,
going to be the quickest. Yes.
but I
Gotcha.
was told, but everyone admitted, like, you look really good. And when I told them I lost like 20 something pounds since they saw me, everyone's like, yeah, you will, and my daughter too, like everyone was like, she looks amazing.
Aw.
And that was 100% from the diet. Mine was some of it I lost before. So everybody was commenting how amazing she looked and like just so even though they in their mind it was weird or it was unnecessary to do that, they're like, well, it's working for you.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
people
absolutely.
can't deny when they see how different you look.
Absolutely. And it is
Yeah.
sad that we all judge by the exterior instead of how the cells are being on the inside.
Yes.
And that's a hard pill to swallow. So kudos to you. How is she doing? Speak of.
She's doing well, and she said to me, "I'm taking a little bit of a break, but I'm going to be back again." And she said, because, I said, you're doing so well, and everybody's just so proud of you. Like you look awesome, and you're so healthy, and you're just back to your old self. And so she said, I'm just taking a little break. I don't want to ever feel like I'm doing anything excessive, but I'll
Yep.
be back again. So I said, okay, you do it in
Yep.
your time and what you're ready to do. So that was kind of how I don't
Well,
want to put pressure.
yep.
Yeah.
Well, you tell her, text me, call me when she's written. I'm always here. So if we need to do
Okay.
if we need a pep talk or anything like that, the one thing to keep pushing with her is pushing the fats.
Yep.
Tell her, even if she's going to do something else, keep those fats in the brain. That's the same thing with Maddox and the seizures. It's right now the fat is what matters, and we've got to keep those healthy fats going. So,
I have a question for you. So, let's say I'm on this diet exactly as you trained me to do for 2 years, and that's how much it takes for me to really get my everything internally healthy, right?
mhm.
I have metabolic syndrome and I have a fatty liver. So imagine I get to the point where I'm like in super health. Is there a point where you back off some of like you still stay on it, but it's like on a lesser mode, like you're not doing the OMAD or you're not doing, you're not needing to do some of the other items is often because you're already at a state of health? Or or is it like, no, because it's like taking Ozempic, if you go off of it, everything just goes haywire. Like I
Okay.
do have that question.
That's actually a very good question. So thank you for asking it. But it's one of those things when you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
And when you learn how to build health at the cellular level, why would you want to go back to anything other than building health at the cellular level? Because what you're eating and doing today are the cells you're building for tomorrow. So these are the building blocks of what the cell generation and the cell turnover is going to be making tomorrow. So, do we have occasions through the year that I'm going to say, screw it, I'm going to go enjoy our anniversary or our birthday, or we're going on a cruise, or we're going on vacation, or something like that? Am I going to say that? Probably. But you know what? When I come back home, I know exactly what to do and what I'm going to do to clean up the mess I just did
But
and
it
just made.
that one little choice isn't going to derail my work that I've already done.
So if you go forward
You
and
know what I mean?
look at the people that have Kevin's reached his weight goal,
Yeah.
we've got a lot of people that have reached the weight goal, but you're still working on cellular health. You're still working on the damage that most of us have done for decades, that's still going on at the cellular level. It's not just the weight is not the thing. So even when you get
Yes, I
your
agree.
magic weight, we want you building cellular health. So I want you to shift your mindset again on saying, I'm in this for the long haul to build health and reverse the damage of past years.
I know for me, I know I feel really good. I mean, for my age, I never thought I would feel this good and be this active in my life. I know that I don't want to go back to hurting every day and hurting while I walk up the steps or hurting
That's
while
true.
I get out of bed. I feel too good. There is no way that I'm going back to weighing 275 pounds. Ain't gonna happen. I am not going back there. So I feel too good. And when you get to that state, It's not a hard decision anymore. It's not
Okay,
this
that's a good
this
way to look at
becomes
it.
this becomes a way of life instead of something I did to get to a goal.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I
It
do
will,
understand that because of my mental state. I've noticed I'm a lot smarter and able to process things like I did 10 years ago. And I had noticed a stark mental decline, like just in the speed at which I think. And I'm like, oh, I feel mentally younger. And so that alone, like being able to just work and perform at a different level at
That's
work, and
incentive right there.
that's
That is,
like that's amazing.
let
It makes
that
me feel young.
let that momentum build on itself.
Yeah.
And as you physically feel that way and mentally feel that way, imagine that whole feeling.
and people always say too, are you going to do this forever? Um,
Yep.
yep.
I found something that
What's
works and I feel really good.
what's the alternative? So you go back, you're going to add some fruit back. Even if you do it a healthy version and you go like Mediterranean or you go to whatever,
Mm.
add some fruit back.
Paleo.
Okay, so you add some fruit back in, you add some veggies back in, you add, a couple extra meals a day or even a week, couple times a week. What do you think is going to happen to your inflammation and all the things that you just worked so hard to reverse when you start doing that?
And
Yeah,
here's
it's
the
just
funny
coming
thing.
back.
Here's the funny thing. You're going to have to figure out that that stove is hot when you touch it. You will go back and you will do that and you will feel like crap. And then one day you'll say, man, I feel like crap. Why? And you'll say, because I've been doing this.
You're having
I've
sugar or
been
whatever.
having that. You know what I mean? And it'll finally click. It doesn't click for everybody at the same time. Sometimes it doesn't even click for a while. But once it does, it it hammers it solid. It really does. So
Okay.
give yourself grace for it. It's
I'm
gonna
gonna.
happen. But and one thing we always say is make sure you're listening to your body. Your body is going to tell you. You can have a little bit of this stuff, and all of a sudden that pain's going to come back. That inflammation's going to come back. Oh, my knee hurts. Oh,
Yeah.
my hip hurts.
Or I
You
can't
know what I
think
mean?
straight.
I can't think straight. What is going on? I don't know what's going on. Well, yeah, you do. So just pay attention to those things. But it when you initially asked your question, I wanted to say, what is your goal?
Yeah, I actually am noticing I still have some inflammation. I mean, it takes time to go down, but I thought maybe I need to go on more of an elimination diet where I'm literally just eating meat and I don't know. Like I said, I don't know why I still have it. And I
Okay,
don't
wait a
know.
minute. Wait a minute. Wait, time out.
Yeah.
So,
Ice cream, berries.
so all the things that you just said, but again, when we say it's literally if you want the inflammation to go down and the numbers to stay good, we don't juggle numbers with a bunch of different foods. I
Nope.
will take you into my refrigerator right now and you will see meat, butter,
Eggs.
eggs, and a little bit of cheese.
And the
Period.
cream is a no-go? Like, would you say to take out the cream if I'm still having inflammation?
The cream is a treat and the cream is in your eating window. So,
Right.
and make sure the cream does not have the carrageenan or the guar gum in it.
Oh, I gotta look at that.
So that one's a problem. But it still comes down to when I say eat the meat, add the fat, cut the crap. The only thing else that's squeezed in there is a little bit of cheese and a little bit of cream. Other than that, there are no other options. We're not juggling a bunch of different numbers trying to put different foods in there. And I will tell you, the more you keep stimulating different foods, the harder it is to get it woed in. You may be able to later, but right now, while you're trying to break the bad habits and get that eating window down and everything, the more you
Hmm.
stimulate all those tastes, the more you still
It just
want them and crave them.
just makes it harder on yourself. Take both feet and jump all the way in. Don't
Get over that hump.
get
Get that hump.
the quicker you get over that hump and get into it and really go after it, the easier it is, and
Yeah.
mentally as well.
It's that rip the band-aid off. We've all tried, and I tell that to even our beginner group,
Mhm.
we've all tried.
You can
Um,
try to work the number game.
you can play it, you can try to cheat it, you can try to find a way around it, you can whatever. If you want the straight, narrow path, and being in this for a few months isn't a quick journey. That is, we're, let's put it this way. I'm
We're
going to be
six,
6 years
6 years in.
and I still have weight to lose because I am still working on the cellular health.
That's how broken. That's how
That's
broken
how
she is.
broken my body is from chemo, and I've got a lot of things going on.
6 years. Solid, man.
But I don't get to jump ship because my numbers aren't there, or because here's the thing. Here's another thing. I don't get to jump ship because I don't look like I should. Because my weight is still too big. I still am too large for I mean, my normal body size as a grown adult after 2 kids was 110 pounds. When you're looking at I'm pushing 190 pounds and carrying that extra weight, it's not okay because I am not healthy at the cellular level. I am struggling with the meds. I'm struggling putting all these things in my body. It is not easy to keep going and not jump ship when I don't look the part that I'm trying to live. And it's frustrating as hell. I'm not going to lie to you on that. But I'm telling you, jump in and do it so you can get the benefits that you're working for in getting there. Because the more you prolong it, it's kind of the same thing of every time you're taking the snacks and you're eating a little bit of this or a bite of that or whatever. It's that same concept of you wouldn't take your best friend, your sister, your daughter, your whoever that's an alcoholic to the bar and say, just have that little bit. Keep playing
Have a
that.
non-alcoholic beer.
It's a
Have a little bit of a light beer, a low carb
wine
beer.
will be all right. Every time you stimulate that, and I know that sounds like such an extreme, but it is a conversation that we can play in our head of you would never do that to your best friend or your sister. Why do we do it to ourselves?
It's the same mindset. It really is. And we don't think about it because
addiction to the brain.
it's every day. We've grown up with it. We've done it. This is okay to do. We're allowed to do this. It's not wrong. However you want to put it, but it's the same mental mindset. Nothing's going to change until you make that change. And the quicker you make that change, the faster you get onto the results.
And I think too, once that breaks and that you kind of rip that Band-Aid off and you get past that, now it's easier to go back and make the choice. Now we can both say, hey, you know what? We're going to our favorite.
Today's a date night.
Yeah, today's date night, and I'm going to do this, or we're going to go share this,
But that's all we're going to do.
And it's a choice. But now we can walk in, do whatever that choice is, or that celebration for a birthday or an anniversary or whatever. And then we walk away and we know what we're going to do in not just the next day, but I know the next hour.
2 days.
The next hour, what we're going to do when we walk home is going to get right back on. It's not a sabotage because we made a choice. But you got to rip that Band-Aid off.
Even with my get to the bottom of the bag personality.
He's on it. He's goal oriented.
Yep, I am goal oriented. There's a reason you open the bag, and it's not to have one chip.
I agree with you. That's why you don't have to
Look,
you
at
can't
least-
open it.
Look
I'm
at
the
Lisa up
same.
there laughing. She's with me.
I do that too.
Yep.
Yep. So it is. I mean, it is. And
This is
then
why I don't open the bag.
Right?
I'm
That's right.
it's not worth it.
I had to abstain. Put
Yeah.
that over there.
Yep.
Someone said a couple of weeks ago, when I think of opening the bag in this scenario, I think of feeding my cancer. I think of
Good idea.
feeding and I don't remember who it was, Tammie.
might have been Harriet.
Yeah, I think it was Harriet.
Harriet would
She
say
was
something like that.
She's like, if I do that, I'm feeding my cancer. I'm feeding my diabetes, which I don't have anymore. Praise the Lord. Why would
Yeah.
I back? I'm feeding my brain fog. I'm feeding my this, So yeah.
It is. It truly is. And
Good call.
you have to have the conversation in your head that works for you. That is what, and it's again, is it a big deal to say, oh my gosh, you can't, when we first started coaching this, I swear to God, we'd have every weekend. Everybody would do great Monday through Friday. Friday and Saturday, everybody wants a beer and a pizza. And then they'd call me. My phone would ring off the hook on Mondays. Can you fix me? Now what do I do with my numbers? My numbers are awful. How do I fix this? You can't jack it up every Friday and Saturday and think I can fix you on Monday. This is consistency. It is that thing of you have to do this consistently, then make a choice to go have a treat once or twice a year, not once or twice a week. That is not building health. That is just agony. I mean, that's all that is. So that is why the mindset is so important. And I know most people don't understand. Dr. Boz she knew exactly what she was doing when she teaches us keto continuum and getting in ketosis to heal the brain. And that addiction is the only way to heal that addiction in the brain is to get that brain in ketosis.
Yep.
That is how, I swear to God, there's a bottle of Oxycontin sitting in my thing that I have no desire to go to. The cheese in the cream in my refrigerator bothers me more than the bottle of Oxycontin. Because I want that cream. It's socially acceptable. It's fine. It makes me feel good. I like it. but the addiction for the Oxycontin that my body craved. I mean, we're talking 120 milligrams for 18 years, 7 days a week, every day of my life. That's how I functioned. And I have no desire, none. That is because I've worked on the brain health, that building that neural pathway in the brain of you have the conversations. Yeah, I'm having the conversations, the voices in my head, whatever you want to call it, and laugh at. I laugh at it too. The voices in my head are saying this.
I've got a lot of voices.
If 4 ounces of sardines fills me up, I do not need a 22-ounce ribeye. So now that same ribeye that we used to go out to eat in each order, now we can get one meal,
And we save money, buy one steak,
and share it, and we're both good.
share it, and take some home.
But you will learn all the conversations. You have to get the conversations going in your head that work for you, and you will get there. It is a mind shift, and that is how we and why we do this for the long term. It really is. So
Hang in there, Heather.
hang in there, Heather.
Get back in.
We love you.
I'm going to get back in tomorrow.
All right, we got you. Susan, are you available to jump in or no? No, maybe.
I'll try for a sec.
A try for a sec. Look at you.
Where's she at? There you are. Hey, what are you doing? Come on in.
I'm still trying to bring down my glucose. It's still in the teens. So that's frustrating.
What do you mean in the teens? Like 100 and something?
100 teens?
It was 122 this morning, and that was shocking. No, maybe it wasn't. It was 119.
Okay. How late are you eating in the day? How late are you?
I quit by 3 usually.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Are carbs nice?
But my sleep has been in the in the trash bin lately too.
That's huge.
That'll be
that BDNF. Those more the sleep gets, the less BDNF you're getting. So that would be something I'd work on the sleep. Make sure, as everybody know, use the sleep cleanup. Go through, put the blinds on, black out your bedroom, do all the things to get some good, healthy, clean sleep going. And I know it's easier said than done. So all the little silly things do matter, but I do that. And if all else fails, if you have to, I'd bump that eating window up a couple hours again, even though it's still 3 o'clock. You guys gotta go. Who's leaving? Audrey.
All right.
He's good. Let us know if you need help, hon. Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Heather's saying if she has long walks in the evenings, her numbers are better in the morning. That's because she's burning that stored glucose.
You get that.
Yeah, I usually work out around this time. In fact, I'm going to go soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
What do you think would be making that glucose up? What do you think would be keeping it higher?
Well, it's just been like this for a while. I got the Stilo, the glucose monitor, and put that back on yesterday because I, check my numbers every morning. So I don't know. I'm trying. Right now, I'm kind of trying sardines.
Yep. Sardines are always a good answer. Sardines and bone broth and
Yeah.
tighten up that eating window. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your carbs running?
Under 10.
Okay.
Under 10.
And here's
I don't cheat.
Yeah.
Here's a frustrating thing too. You may have to, and she'll tell you this too. You may have to do it until just keep it nice and tight and it's going to get boring and mundane and drive you nuts. And then hopefully one day it's going to go flip and you're going to take off. But, other than that, I mean, if you know that you're being tight and the only one area you seem to be is sleep, and that would be a big factor. If you try to take all the noise away that you can from your eating and everything else and make everything as simple as possible, then you can kind of get rid of variables that would affect your numbers. So the less noise you have, the easier it is to kind of narrow down of what you need to focus on and then try to push towards that to get that handled. And then we'll take that variable away. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of external stuff that can affect your numbers too.
Yeah. I'm, up in the age department and I also have the metabolic syndrome and high uric acid. So
Does everybody understand the uric? I know Heather touched on the uric acid as well. The best thing for uric acid, anybody has gout or anything, flare-ups like that, getting that glucose down, that insulin down is what's going to take care of the gout. And
Yeah,
that's
well, I haven't had an attack in a really long time, but
good.
you
Good.
know,
Yep. And I will say too, as far as the age thing, don't even use that one for an excuse.
You're just vintage. Vintage is cool nowadays.
Lance's dad is 85 and does it, and he rocks it out. So age is not, this is chemistry, not age. So there's age and weight, we don't get to use those numbers as health markers. So you keep doing it.
I mean, shoot, look at Harriet.
Right? She's a little spitfire. If I could have Harriet's numbers, she's just amazing. So we will all get there together, but it's just, we got to figure out, it's just shoot and clean up.
And everybody's on their own journey.
Yep. And looking at what is it I'm doing? What can I fix? What can I do better? If what I'm doing right now is not getting me the numbers I want, I got to shoot clean up somewhere. And I got to try something different, because if I go for a week and my numbers are still in the tank and they're still too high and I'm waking up, then something needs changed. Something needs to be figured out of what is my body needing. And it may be take the cream out of my coffee. It may be I need to finish eating by 12 or 1 o'clock again. It may mean I mean, that last time my numbers on the 21 day, Dr. Boz, everybody else did a 3-day sardine challenge. Dr. Boz put me on a 5-day sardine challenge, which I was not a happy girl, but I'm telling you what, best numbers I ever had in my life since I started doing that was on day 5. So it was.
There's something about it. You have to put that one simple stress on your body that gets you over that hump, that ignites that fire, that
gets it going.
Whatever you want to call it, flips that switch. You have to be able to find what that is and accept that change to make that happen.
And it is frustrating. So I know a lot of you that are veterans. I feel for you, and I'm not trying to diminish it, because it is frustrating. And he knows, right? I mean, you can ask Lance. I'm struggling. I'm ticked off that I do this faithfully. I mean,
I can jump in and take off, and I'll get DBRs in the 20s. I
instantly,
mean, just right now,
within
just get it
a day or two.
And she'll struggle, and there's a huge difference though in our health. I'm blessed. I don't have any problems in my hopefully near future. But anyway, I don't have a lot of health problems at all.
And it is a good teaching moment of reminding, even though we can eat the exact same thing, I close my eating window way earlier. You know, I close by noon, 1 o'clock some days, and just sit with him when he eats at 4:30. And it's one of those, all those little things and those little tools that we do the best we can do, but it is amazing how our food stays pretty much the same, you know, those kind of things. We work on our macros and stuff, but the actual foods that we eat, it's the same thing. I cook once, we eat twice, you know, there's 2 of us eating. It's so frustrating, and it is hard to sit and watch. We'll do the same thing, and it's like, why? I swear to God, my body's trying to kill me 3 days from Sunday about 16 times a day. I mean, it just, every step of the way, it's when you have to beat your head against the wall and you don't see the results. But I am telling you, the alternative is to go backwards. And I refuse.
Oh, no.
I refuse. So keep going.
I'm so much better in other departments.
Exactly.
You know,
So when we start
I see
having that pity
positive
party.
changes other places.
Yep.
Great.
So I know it. You know, it's just a question of
figuring out that tweak.
holding the line.
Yep.
Yes.
Finding that what is it to tweak your body needs, and those are tough questions to ask, but ones that when you figure it out, then again, you know, we keep going, keep doing it till it stops working, and we'll do it again, and we'll figure it out, and we'll go that next step. But that's what your tribe is for, and that's why we're all here together. So
keep going, Susan.
Right.
Keep going. You got it.
All right. So everybody, if you can be over in the group, please put your numbers over there. Keep sharing. We are over there. When you guys see my Maddox over there, please cheer him on, because we are trying to get him accountable of checking his numbers every day. And for a 12-year-old little boy, that is not an easy task.
Especially during summer.
Yeah. So cheer him on anytime you see him over there. But we love you guys. I want everybody to remember, if you need the shirt that says it, you could go over to the website and get the Eat the Meat, Add the Fat, Cut the Shit shirt.
Yep.
And you don't have to even tell anybody what you're doing then. It's all spelled out.
Yep, exactly.
But seriously, have a safe and a happy holiday, and celebrate and be careful, but don't derail yourself. It is about family and love and getting together. It is not about the food. So be mindful.
Enjoy, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you.
Enjoy. We love y'all.